Baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium on a warm, windy night. A good night to hit, and a good hitting team is in town as the Royals begin a 4-game series with the Angels. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joel and Monty will be coming up in a couple of segments. The talk of baseball right now is Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher and designated hitter. He's scheduled to start on Sunday, and while he's been impressive at the plate so far, you have to remember with this loaded lineup, he's the number 8 hitter.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a lot of hitters in that lineup to worry about. Ohtani's not one of them. You better be careful with the MVP, Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. These guys at the top of the order, they're paid to drive in the runs. Now, certainly the stars are in town, but if you pitch, you can undo good hitting.
And it'll be Ian Kennedy tonight in the beginning of the 4-game series. And while we're curious to see how the Royals do against Shohei Ohtani on Sunday, I'd like to see how the Angels do against Jacob Junis.
Oh, if he hits his spots, they're in trouble. This is going to be fun to watch Junebug go at him, man, and stay on the corners and out of the middle. Keep working and keep everybody smiling.
All right, when we come back, we will talk about the Japanese sensation, Shohei Ohtani.
This is unreal. Tip your cap, Shohei Ohtani. You deserve it.
Well, baseball fans in Japan saw plenty of that. Ohtani hitting home runs and striking out hitters. The question, of course, is can he do it here at the major league level? And after 1 week, the answer would be yes.
Yeah, you know, what's going to happen second, third time through in a grueling major league season, that's all yet to be seen. But so far, so good. He's a young phenom. His manager, Mike Scioscia, said the same thing. When the ball comes out of his hand, it's electric. And Scioscia caught a lot of good pitchers in his day with the Dodgers. So let's just wait and see what happens. I know the Royals hitters can't wait to tag him.
The Angels offense is at the top of the American League in several offensive categories. They have to face Ian Kennedy tonight, who's off to a great start. Joel and Monty will discuss when we come back.
And 92 in his career and ready to go against the Los Angeles Angels. Welcome back to the K. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. And Kennedy was brilliant early last season, and then his last 25 starts, a 6.16 ERA. Now here he is, Monty, 1 run in his first 2 starts. He had that injury last year. Why did that affect Ian and his ability to pitch more than maybe some others?
Well, oftentimes you think about a pitcher, you think his arm, but really for all pitchers, I don't care if you're pitching, you're hitting, you're throwing, anything you're doing with baseball, it starts with the ground and moves up. But last year, we saw him be very good early, then he lost the ability to finish pitches, and a lot of pitches were finishing in the middle part of that strike zone. His inability to finish that changeup particularly really detracted from his ability to be successful. Now we see the ability to finish the pitches. We see the changeup finishing down in that strike zone. As a result, he's been a different pitcher this year. Let's hope he's able to stay healthy.
No question about it, and so far so good. Kennedy for the Royals, Nick Tropiano for the Angels. Ryan and Hud are back with more after this.
played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Well, it's early, but the Angels have the best record in the American League. They are 10-3, but last year the Royals were 6-1 against the Angels, and the Royals have won 7 of their last 9 here against the Angels. And it is 79 beautiful degrees at Kauffman Stadium. Here's the Angels batting order. The Royals were not sad at all when the Tigers traded away Ian Kinsler, and then he started the season on the disabled list. So of course he comes off the disabled list tonight to begin a series with the Royals. Kinsler always seems to do well against the Royals. We'll see how he does in an Angels uniform. Our Kubota power stats. Kinsler's just another potent bat so far. The Angels are first in the league in runs per game. They were 11th last year over the full season. They also have the most home runs, and they were 13th in that category in 2017. They've got some big bats, and Shohei Ohtani, as we talked about at the top of the show, he is their number 8 hitter. And we'll see how they do against Ian Kennedy and his 0.75 ERA.
Yeah, well, from past experience, and Kennedy will tell you this too, good pitching, if he hits his spot, outdoes good hitting. So the Royals and their pitching staff, their starting staff, have their hands full. There's no question about it. But Kennedy, if he can stay above thigh high, belt high with his fastball, that's where he has a lot of success. He can get a lot of pop-ups and mix in his secondary pitches. The changeup's an effective pitch. He's going to have to bring all those in to get through this lineup 3 times.
Downstairs to Ian Kinsler. He'd been out with an abdominal strain. He had a down year last year with the Tigers. The Tigers had a down year. And he unloads on Kennedy's second pitch of the night. Different uniform, same Ian Kinsler against the Royals, and it's 1-0 Angels.
Yep, wouldn't you know it. On the way to the ballpark today, I heard he was activated, and I went, oh no. And sure enough, there's the fastball, not above the belt. Just got through saying that. He's got to be careful with the location. If it's below the belt around thigh high, he could be vulnerable to the long ball. And sure enough, first hitter.
And now Mike Trout. Better location to Trout. That's the first home run given up by Kennedy. He had gone 12 innings without allowing a home run after allowing a career high 34 last year. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Trout's certainly no slouch either. I mean, he has a nice long track record against the Royals.
A few years ago here against Jason Vargas, he had one of the longest home runs in the history of the ballpark.
That was against Vargy. I wasn't sure, but I remember seeing it fly out of here. He has a tremendous low ball hitter and keeps the ball in the middle of the ballpark. That's his focus there. Now he will pull, but most of his homers come to center field and opposite field.
Still 2-2. The Angels last year had a bad time against Kennedy, and especially early in games. So I guess it's only fitting that the first batter hits a home run. Trout hits it right to Almonte in center field. Ian made 2 starts against the Angels last year, and he gave up 1 run in 14 innings. In his first start, he set down the first 9, and in his second start, he set down the first 17. So maybe they spent a little extra time preparing for Ian tonight.
They sure did. And you know, if your focus and your location aren't exactly right, they can do that to you. And you know, you're only human. You're gonna take that first inning and try to see what works. It's just the second pitch of the night. So, you know, Kennedy knows he can't miss against these guys, especially there's not a weak spot in the lineup hardly.
2-0 on Justin Upton. You can speak to this as a player. I mean, it's only 1 run, but when you got a pitcher that just owns a team, and then 2 pitches into the game and you've already got a run, that's got to be a sigh of relief.
Yeah, and when it starts is in the clubhouse when you get in there and you have your meeting. You have your little hitters meeting. You know, they talk about how he's dominated, and then you're saying, well, that's going to change. We're going to get him tonight. So that's the only way you're able to stay on top and beat a guy like Kennedy, who's had a lot of success. Stay positive.
That was a 3-0 pitch, and Upton chops it out to Moustakas, 2 down.
Forward around the horn, Royals defense in the outfield. We're going to see Abraham Almonte for the first time. In center field, John Jay in left, Jorge Soler in right. Almonte's a good looking center fielder. He's got some good speed. Moustakas from left to right, Escobar, Ryan Goins, Lucas Duda, Drew Butera doing the catching.
Is that a trim down, Albert Pujols?
Looks pretty slim to me. I didn't get a chance to see him in spring training. Did the Royals play them?
Yes. He is coming up on some major milestones. He's already headed to Cooperstown. And that's fair inside the right field line. And Pujols slides in with a 2-out double. And with that base hit, he is now just 16 shy of 3,000.
Little bit too much of the plate. Hitters aren't going to miss that. Albert very controlled with his left foot. Controls the rest of his body.
Our Toyota League leaders. Next on the list is Sam Rice. Roberto Clemente was right at 3,000 hits when he died that following offseason on a humanitarian trip. Pujols is also 14 home runs shy of tying Ken Griffey Jr. for 6th most in Major League history.
You could tell Albert was not thinking pull, because that ball was right down the middle. Another fastball that Kennedy missed with, and he was a little tardy on it, but he was able to keep his bat head level and shoot it down the right field line. Tells me he wasn't looking to pull him out of the park. A lot of times hitters will look at that wind and they'll say, you know, all I got to do is just pull one, get it up in that wind. It's going to help me a little.
1-1 on Calhoun, and that is lined to right field and caught by Soler. Kinsler homers on the 2nd pitch of the game, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead. Run, and Ned Yost has mixed up his lineup tonight. Jorge Soler will bat 2nd. Royals are trying to take advantage of the way he's been swinging the bat lately and some walks. And Whit Merrifield, Royals are trying to get more runners on base for him. He'll be the DH and bat 5th. Nick Tropiano has not pitched in the big leagues since 2016 when he had Tommy John surgery, which also wiped out last year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Don't want to let him have any confidence. Get him early. He's not an overpowering pitcher. He's going to be feeling his way around. He's right at 90 miles an hour. But you see it. Fastball, he's going to sink it. He's got a little combination slurvy breaking ball change, occasional split finger.
Oh, 2 on John Jay. John was 2 out of 13 with a walk in the just completed Royals Mariners series. And has been outstanding for the Royals so far, leading off innings. Not just the first, but any inning. If he is leading off an inning this year, his on base percentage is .556, and oftentimes he's come back after falling behind in the count, and he does it again. Got on top of a high fastball, so that on base percentage will go up, and he's on to begin the bottom of the 1st.
Yep, high fastball, not good for a sinker baller. And you know, the fact that he hasn't pitched in a while in the major leagues, that's going to be a problem for him if he can't get the ball down. The Angels defense, Justin Upton, he's an athletic outfielder, not the best range, but he's got a pretty good throwing arm. Mike Trout, he's as good as they get in center. Cole Calhoun, a hustling, scrappy type right fielder, always giving his best. Now, Angels left to right. Luis Valbuena, third baseman. Simmons, of one of the best shortstops in the world. Ian Kinsler, good fielder. Albert Pujols does an adequate job at first base. That's for sure. And Martin Maldonado, who wears the gold from last year.
So you got a lot of Gold Glovers out there.
They have a complete team The thing that's going to hurt them this year is their starting pitching. They're going to have to find some guys that can stay healthy and they can formulate any kind of a rotation.
Oh, and 1 on Soler. Well, they're dealing with an injury right here. Tropiano is pitching because of an injury, and he becomes the 8th starter that the Angels have used.
Yikes.
Now, part of that is because they've got Shohei Ohtani, the Angels are going to experiment with a 6-man rotation. So they had 6 right out of the gate, but 8 starters just a couple of weeks into the season is a lot.
Better believe that's right. And it was already a problem coming into the season.
J.C. Ramirez is the subject of our University of Kansas Health System injury report, and he tore his right elbow, so he needs Tommy John surgery, and that's why Tropiano was called up to pitch in his spot. As Shoemaker, another starter, is on the disabled list. And down goes Soler, looking at a fastball at 93, 1 down.
Tropiano, you know, he's really got to focus on hitting his spots, obviously, like most pitchers, staying on the corners, and it's imperative for him to be able to get through the first inning clean, second inning, early in the game to gain any kind of confidence. But the Royals really want to put a dent in him as soon as they can. Not overpowering. He's got to be able to hit his spots and have his command.
Mike Moustakas is coming off a big series against Seattle. He has hit in 4 straight. All have been multi-hit games. And in the Seattle series, a 3-game series, Moustakas had 7 hits, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs. No swing. 2-0.
That was a straight changeup, not for too many split fingers, and we'll see after his surgery what kind of confidence he has in that pitch. It's a good one. It goes down, but you know what? He hadn't been using it very much in the past, so it's just 4%. But that straight change up in the zone can be a good pitch to hit, especially to Moose.
What was that little sign?
I don't know what that
Maldonado wiggled his fingers outside of his right leg. I don't know if that was a sign for him to step off. That would be typically the changeup sign, wiggling the fingers. And it's a changeup up and away. 3 balls and no strikes.
I would imagine that the green light's there for Moose if he wants it.
Three and one.
He's telling himself that was a good pitch right there. That's the one I want. Even though it was the top of the zone, it looked pretty straight. Didn't see much sinkage in there. No sink to me.
Fastball is pulled through the hole on the right side. Jay stops at second base, and now Moustakas is hit in 5 straight, and the Royals have 2 on with 1 out.
Nicely done. Working yourself into a hitter's count, you get more pitches like this. That's a 2-seamer. Had a little run, not much sink. Moose is able to get it in the hole. John Jay wisely didn't go to third there. Calhoun has a great arm and accurate. And he's aggressive. He charged that ball like it was the last ball he'll ever charge in his life. That's how you like ball players to play.
And now Lucas Duda with Jay at second base and Moustakas at first. The Royals as a team have only seen Tropiano once, And that was 2 years ago in Anaheim. So very few Royals have any experience against him. Lucas Duda is one of them. Mike Moustakas had 3 at-bats prior to tonight. Lucas Duda has 3 at-bats prior to tonight. Everyone else 2 or fewer. 2-0. The Royals have had the lead in 8 of 10 games this year, but they've had some trouble after an early lead adding on. And here's one of the culprits, hitting with runners in scoring position. And the Royals in the last 2 games of the Seattle series were just 2 out of 19 with runners in scoring position.
Yep. 2 contrasting offenses here to start this series. One, the Angels, one of the best. And that's not going to work.
Kinsler to Simmons, over to Pujols. And so Tropiano gets a big double play, and the Royals are down in the first.
On this game, not just here in town, but over in Japan, and many more members of the media credentialed for this series. It's a little bit more crowded, guys, walking through the camera well than it usually is when I'm down here, but we haven't seen anything yet. Nice grab by Lucas Duda. As talking to some of the folks from the Japanese media, they said, okay, there's a decent amount here tonight. We're thinking probably somewhere around 50 to 75 credentialed. That's still photographers and folks in the truck and all of that. But it could do as much as quadruple by Sunday when Ohtani takes the hill. That's when all eyes will be on him for every single pitch that he shows. Royals Vice President of Media Relations Mike Swanson saying that they were almost treating this game in this series like a wild card game, like a mini playoff game. Extra rows of seats in the press box, trying to make more room down here in the camera wells. This is a big deal, not just in the States, but even more so in Japan.
1-1 on Luis Valbuena. Thank you, Joel. We noticed that when we were upstairs having dinner. Different buzz up there, more people up there.
I think it's
kind of reminded me of a postseason game.
Yeah, it's great. You know, remember Godzilla, the right fielder for the New York Yankees? That was Matsui's nickname. He was a big star in Japan too. They've had several, and whenever their guys come over here and hit it big, they're well covered.
John Jay makes a play in left field, and now here is Shohei Ohtani. He has 3 home runs, and he did that in consecutive games. He is also 2-0 on the mound. The last time a big leaguer had 15 home runs and 15 wins in the same season was Babe Ruth. And the Angels believe he is capable of achieving both of those numbers.
He's a phenomenal talent. There's no question about it, to be able to do that. And you know, it's just, there's more to it than hitting and pitching and just showing up and doing those. Well, as a pitcher, you know, your third day you throw in the bullpen. You have to study hitters. You're conditioning for pitching. You got to make time for batting practice, obviously. So there's batting practice that goes on. Mike Scioscia before the game was telling the media that, look, this isn't just something that we're just letting him do. We're letting it evolve. We're letting him evolve right now.
Down he goes. Kennedy strikes out his first.
Break out that paintbrush. Ohtani, you got to go.
Tonight, American military personnel serving overseas are watching this game on AFN, the American Forces Network. So we welcome those in countries around the world aboard naval ships at sea. And we thank you for your service. It is a gorgeous night in Kansas City, Missouri. It will stay warm tomorrow, and then it's going to cool off again over the weekend. Whit Merrifield will bat 5th. He's the DH tonight. Ned Yost continues to have a revolving door approach to the designated hitter, as he predicted in spring training. So Whit becomes the 7th designated hitter used this year.
I asked him before the game, was he shocked when he saw his name in the lineup, and did Ned tell him yesterday? He said, yes, I was shocked, and no, he did not tell me. Your thoughts? He said, I wasn't thrilled because I like to play defense so much, but hey, I like hitting the 5th spot. If there's some guys on, I want to drive some runs in. So good breaker there. That wasn't very nice. Good spot by Tropiano.
Tropiano allowed a single to John Jay and another one to Mike Moustakas in the first inning. The Royals had 2 on and 1 out, and then he was able to get Duda to ground into a double play. And here's Abraham Almonte. He'll make his first start tonight as a Royal. He had a A couple of pinch hitting appearances in the Royals Mariners series.
And that's a difficult job. I mean, it's tough to go up there and be perfect with hits, but he's getting an opportunity. He wants to shine.
Fastball followed by a changeup. 1-1.
Has good switch hitting ability, good runner, good athlete. But you know, this is an opportunity for him. If he can have some kind of an impact on tonight's game, he could take a center field spot and run with it the way Ned's looking for some offense. Ooh.
Ohtani didn't like that as it hit the upper corner of the strike zone. 1-2. Jeff Kellogg is tonight's home plate umpire. He's also the crew chief.
See if Maldonado calls a little split finger here.
Back-to-back strikeouts. And now 3 for Tropiano. Ryan Goins to the plate with 2 down. If the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the Kansas City MLB Urban Youth Academy. Ned Yost in using Whit Merrifield as a designated hitter, gets Whit off of his feet for one night, and he's able to get Goins in the lineup, get him some playing time. So 1-1.
Tropiano now, he's breaking out that split finger, getting ahead on some hitters. He struck out the last batter there, Almonte, on one. Check it out here. I mean, that it's almost like a forkball grip. That's
especially with the velocity too. I mean, there's quite a. That pitch is right around 80 miles an hour. Line to right field, and Ryan Goins has his second hit as a Royal, and he's on with 2 down.
Okay, the 3 hits so far by the Royals have all been pulled. Now that's a changeup. Stayed in the middle of the plate. Tropiano, he's using everything, including that split finger forkball combination. That's a good swing there by Goins. Stayed with it. Don't miss the mistakes.
Escobar was just 2 for 12 against the Mariners. He did drive in a couple of runs. That pitch is inside for ball 1. Escobar continues to be the Royals' Iron Man. Tonight is his 344th consecutive start. That's the longest active streak in the big leagues. The next player behind him, Joey Votto, has 141 fewer, and he took the night off tonight. So his consecutive starts streak comes to an end. So there is nobody even near Escobar's 344 straight starts.
So Cal Ripken Jr. is not worried about Votto anymore.
Not yet. No, not worried about Votto, and Esky for that matter.
Didn't I break the news that he played in over 4,000 straight games in spring training?
That was news to him too.
No, but look, that consecutive streak will never be broken, in my opinion.
2,600 plus.
Yep.
(3-0). By the way, that is not missing a game in 16 consecutive seasons.
Unheard of. Just unbelievable. And you know, it wasn't like he was soft. He played hard.
Escobar walks with 2 down. And with 2 outs, the Royals get a single and a walk. And Drew Butera comes up. Drew drove in a couple of runs in the Royals-Mariners series.
See if he can make something happen here and get a hit with a runner in scoring position. Shocked the house. Escobar walked for the 3rd time this year. Last year, in 599 at-bats, he walked just 15 times. He's on a good pace, Esky.
Slider over the outside, strike 1. Oh, and 2. Drew was a one-time Angel. In fact, the Royals got Drew Butera from the Angels 2015 in a trade for minor league infielder Ryan Jackson. And would go on that year to catch the last pitch of the World Series. Tropiano typically is not a strikeout pitcher, but he has 4 in his first 2 innings. Behind Nolan Arenado, and then Perdomo did a lot of backpedaling, and then at Fenway Park, Joe Kelly hit Tyler Austin with a pitch. Kelly was suspended 6 games, Austin 5 games, and then later during that fight, Austin punched Red Sox coach Carlos Fablis in the face. So keep that in mind, Royals fans, when the Yankees come to town. Carlos Fablis was one of the most loved players on his Royals teams when he was here, and he's just in there trying to break up a fight and got hit in the face. So not that Royals fans aren't fired up enough as it is when the Yankees come to town, but you can tuck that one in your back pocket. No suspensions have been announced yet from that Rockies Padres fight.
Hey, look, you know what? You just hope that there are no major injuries when those things happen, but you know, they get a little heated and it's still April. You'd have thought Vasquez, the catcher, would have got him from going. He took 4 or 5 steps before he went to the pitcher's mound. You got to protect your pitcher. Don't let him get to him.
2-2 on Martin Maldonado. Little bit inside. 3-2 on Maldonado, the Angels #9 hitter. Hud told you that he ended Salvador Perez's run at consecutive Gold Gloves when he won it last year in the American League.
Good arm. He threw out 32% of runners last year. That's always an impressive stat for a catcher. Stay with it.
Soler makes the play in right field. 1 down.
Fans, as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game.
Ian Kennedy's second pitch was hit over the left field bullpen by Ian Kinsler. That was Kinsler's first at bat since coming back from the disabled list. He went on the DL very early in the season with an abdominal strain. And now Kennedy hits the outside corner. 0-1.
This was a beautiful swing, man. And how many times have Royals fans seen that from this guy? Wow. Pitchers, just short, compact, real tight, got some power. You know, he'll hit for average and runs hard. He's been a real professional player in his time so far. A professional, I'll say classy player. He never is in controversy, keeps his mouth shut, plays the game hard. He's a real pro. Solid defender, shows up, does his work, never complains, and always hustles. And you never see him throw his helmet or his bat. You know, we've watched this guy for several years now.
The Rangers thought he was done as a second baseman. They wanted to move him to first, which he refused to do. And so with Texas feeling like he wasn't what he once was defensively at second base, they traded him to the Tigers. Now, I'm not a scout, but he looked pretty good at second base when he was in Detroit.
Yeah, and keep the ball down or away from him.
He won a Gold Glove a couple of years ago with the Tigers. Duda was the only fielder on the right side. Kennedy gets to the bag. Two down.
Okay, PFP, pitchers fielding practice. These guys do it in their sleep. This is important. Get over. Any ball hit to the right, look at Kennedy, not wasting any time. Duda's got to lead him. Lead him with the underhand flip. Kennedy barely got his foot out of the way, but he hesitated a little. And then he says, oh, I better go. Kinsler can run. But I like his track. You don't want to go directly to the base. You'd like to go to the line and go up the line a little bit. That helps you from not getting your foot stepped on. And you stay on your side, the infield side of the base when you tag the base. If you go directly to the bag, you're going to have a collision with the runner.
Ball one on Mike Trout. He flied out to center field in the first inning. Good spot, 1-1. Good location again. We were telling you how well the Royals played and pitched against the Angels last year. The Royals won 6 of 7 from the Angels a year ago, and Mike Trout had 1 RBI in those 7 games. So if you're going to beat the Angels and you're going to shut down their offense, this is a good place to start.
That's right. And mention what a great low ball hitter he is. He Kennedy would probably like to keep it above the belt on him, and on the corners force him to right.
3-2.
And you know, over the years as a color commentator, when I like to talk to pitching coaches about, you know, maybe the game plan, they're not going to give me much game plan. How are you going to pitch this guy? They say, well, we're going to try to miss his bat. Okay. He did, but he'll take his walk.
It is not too late if you're still interested in becoming a 2018 season ticket member. Choose from several packages tailored to fit your busy schedule. All season ticket members will receive an exclusive Salvador Perez bobblehead along with tons of other benefits. Royals.com/STM for more details. It's good to see Salvi around the batting cage before the game tonight.
Yes, it was. You know, they miss his life, his energy that he brings, and that's a welcomed thing from a all-star world champion player, but it's welcomed anywhere, but especially from a guy like Salvi. Makes a big difference just having him around.
Two 2-0 on Upton. Kennedy fell behind Upton 3-0 in the first inning, and on that 3-0 pitch got him to ground out to Moustakas.
Upton's a dangerous hitter. He's very powerful, and he likes the opposite field too. He'll use now with that wind today, any of these prolific power hitters can hit a homer if they can get it up with any kind of authority. But Upton, he doesn't go up there looking to pull. He's looking to go the opposite field.
That is blowing straight out toward left center field. Got the call. 2-2.
Upton, you can see him take a deep breath and say, you know what, I'm going to give him that one because that's going to be a tough pitch to hit. He'll wait for some other pitch.
Kennedy may have lost his footing, and Butera pulled it out of the dirt. Now Drew reminds everybody that it's 3-2 and 2 outs, and Mike Trout will be running.
So the play's to first base.
Line back into center field, so Trout will keep running and will stop at third base. And the Angels are trying to put something together after 2 outs and nobody on.
He challenged him, and those hitters know that about Ian Kennedy. Look at the knuckleball he hit. I thought that ball looked funky leaving his bat. Look at it. Look at it take a right turn. You see it take a right? That's because the ball knuckled. You can't square a baseball up any better when you hit a knuckleball back to up the middle. That was perfectly struck.
Albert Pujols doubled up the right field line in the first inning.
You know what's scary, Rhino, when you're an infielder and one of those is hit at you with that hit speed. You're olaying that, you're getting out of the way of it. It's scary.
0-1 on Pujols. Our key at drive to success, and we showed you where the Angels are atop the American League in several offensive categories, including with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. They're hitting almost 400.
That's breaking the hearts of a lot of pitchers.
That'll explain why early in the year they are leading the league in runs scored, Batting average, home runs, OPS. The Angels are #1 in the American League.
Yeah, and those runs scored right now, 87 now, counting the run tonight. That leads all of Major League Baseball. They are not missing. Over shift on Albert. They believe he's going to pull the ball. The whole right side's wide open for him.
Going the other way, and Soler sprints into the corner, and he's got it, and then slams into the wall. That saved a couple of runs.
That's a cap tipper. Fantastic.
City Council and a strong advocate for police officers and all first responders. He's thrown his full support in visible ways and behind the scenes for Answering the Call, which is a Missouri organization dedicated to supporting families of officers wounded or killed in the line of duty. And he is sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat.
He deserves that, Jerry. Way to go. Fantastic job. Way to work. Keep him safe.
John Jay again reached leading off an inning in the first, and now he leads off the third. So now when he leads off an inning, his on base percentage is .579. And if you're new to baseball, that's really, really good.
We have a lot of new fans. Heck yeah. Yeah, you want to get on that, but the idea is scoring runs, and they've had a hard time knocking him in.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and that was the count when Jay singled to right in the first inning.
Yeah. Jay's just scored 5 runs this year. He'd like to up that total. As many times he's getting on base with a walk or a knock. Trupiano, you know, we said he only throws his split finger 4%, but tonight he's using it quite a bit. That's a breaking ball right there. But so I ran next door to Royals Hall of Famer Mark Gubicza. I said, Gooby, you know, he's almost like a fork ball. It's not quite a split. He goes, I know. And he goes, I can't believe he's throwing as many of them as he is, because coming off of Tommy John surgery, that hurts your elbow. That's a pitch that affects it. So they haven't seen him either this year. So they're watching what we're watching. But that's a tough pitch to hit, especially with 2 strikes.
The Angels will played perfectly against Jay with Simmons guarding the middle. One down.
Let's go back and look at Soler's catch that he made in the inning to save 2 runs. Albert Pujols, twice now he's gone that way. Look at it. Look at the StatCast. Look at the direct route. Beautiful job. You don't catch that if you don't get a good first step and continue your route. And to be able to absorb the blow in the wall, hey, look, just because it's padded doesn't mean that can't hurt you. We saw J.D. Martinez break a wrist out there on a similar play. So way to go. You hope he knocks in a couple, but if he doesn't, he saved 2 with his glove.
Tropiano got him looking at a fastball in the first inning. And he does not look like a guy who's making his first major league start this year, and his first major league start in 2 years. Tropiano, I mean, he is hitting his spots and doing a good job of staying out of the middle of the plate.
Yeah, it's almost 2 years. May 23rd, 2016 at Texas. But you know, here's another opportunity for a guy getting a start on a team that's well loaded. We've made it. We've documented that real well. How offense is. He's got a chance. He says, I'm going to chance for a starting rotation job here. He wants another chance. It's what you do when an opportunity is presented to you. And that's a long wait in between dreaming about getting back to the majors and becoming a starter again. Oh, the hard work from recovering from Tommy John surgery.
3-2. Right over the outside edge. So he has gotten Soler twice looking at a fastball, and that's 5 strikeouts for Tropiano in 2 2/3 innings.
Yeah, and 3 of them looking. That's way too many, especially with runners in scoring position. You gotta expand the strike zone a little bit with 2 strikes. You know, especially the power that he has. You gotta swing the bat. He can take that ball deep. Be aggressive. Widen up the zone a little bit.
Mike Moustakas singled to right field in the first inning. One and one. A few times tonight he's thrown a fastball at 90, which is not fast by today's standards, up, but up and out of the strike zone. Back to the middle. Simmons is right there. So twice Royals hitters went right back to the middle, but the Angels shortstop was right there waiting for it. parents, for just $30, the kids get a Blue Crew jersey, a flat bill cap, a drawstring bag, 2 compression sleeves, 2 home game ticket vouchers, and more. Sign them up. Royals.com/Blue Crew. That's the Blue Crew jersey from 2016. Cole Calhoun hit a rocket out to right field in the first inning.
Yeah, he blistered that 109 off the bat. And had he got under it, that would have been way out, another homer, but he just squared it up. And missed it.
And he can be overlooked in this lineup. And he's had some big home run seasons recently, because you can forget about him when you're worried about Trout and Pujols, and now you got Upton, Ohtani, Kinsler. When you talk about the Angels and about guys, the teams don't think this way, but maybe fans or broadcasters, you start talking about guys who might hurt you, it's easy to overlook this guy. 19 home runs last year, 18 the year before that, 26 in 15. And he's going to give you anywhere from 70 to 80 RBIs.
Yeah, no, he's been a sleeper, that's for sure. I started off slow, 2 for 25, but then he's been heating up. He's got hits in 5 straight games as Calhoun. Got to be careful. He blistered that last one. His swing on that foul ball there looked really short. Keep it away from him. Got him. Challenged him up.
And that's Kennedy's second strikeout. Both have been with his fastball, and his fastball early this year looks like the fastball that he had 2 years ago when he had the most strikeouts of any big league pitcher with his 4-seam fastball.
Yeah, and I understand how it's impossible for a ball to rise, a baseball that's thrown overhand like that, but that's what that last pitch appeared to. That one as well. There's a little bit of late life on it that appears to the hitter that it's rising, and it's hard for them to square it up. They could just maybe get a piece of it, but he kind of throws underneath the ball. And that deception from his fastball is why he's had so much success over the years. There's a lot of spin rate on his fastball.
Hitters, as you said, will swear that the ball is rising. Scientists say that that's impossible.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to argue with the science of it. Moustakas dives at third. And over to Duda for the second out.
Simmons is a good high ball hitter, and I'm sure Kennedy knew that threw him a breaking ball, but in the reaction position that Moose is in, he handled it with no problem. He turned that ball into a marshmallow. Look at that, gets his feet. You see how he got his feet underneath him so you can make a good steady throw to your target. Kennedy says thank you. Way to save a knock, maybe more. Whitley DHing, becoming a fan today. Waiting his 30 minutes in between at bats.
Valbuena hits it into left center field. Almonte will play it on a hop, and Valbuena is 1 for 2. And now Ohtani, who took a called third strike in the second inning. Just to finish the thought on the rising fastball, and scientists will say because of gravity that there's no way that it rises, but I think it gives the illusion to the hitter with certain pitchers who can maintain their velocity longer. And so hitters just expecting the ball to continue to sink at a certain rate. Some guys who have that high spin rate, the ball will stay on a plane that most hitters are not accustomed to it being on. So as a hitter, you think this pitch should be slowly descending, but it's got that little zip at the very end.
You're exactly right in your explanation there, and you can see it in Kennedy's fastballs. You can see it. It just stays there in the same plane because of his spin rate. It was there. He got in his kitchen. Ohtani just trying to fight it off, seeing if got a hairline fracture in that bat. But you know, there was a pitcher that I faced for the New York Mets. His name was Sid Fernandez, and he threw a 96, 97-mile-an-hour heater, and he threw underneath the ball a little bit like Kennedy, but even more exaggerated. And I was a decent fastball hitter, and I couldn't touch it. I would wait for his breaking ball because it looked like it was rising to me.
1-2 on Ohtani.
This kid right here, though, he's got tremendous leverage. He's tall, he's got long arms and legs, and he has a good idea about hitting. They made some adjustments with him. Eric Hinsky, first-time hitting coach for the Angels this year. He played 12 major league seasons. Made some adjustments with him from spring training to this regular season that has really turned him around and got him in the confidence department. And that adjustment being, in spring training, he had a high leg kick, like a lot of Japanese hitters do. They do that for momentum and timing and loads their hips. And they call it a flamingo leg kick. We'll show it to you. You see him there on the left? That's the flamingo kick. He's loading his hips. He's getting strength in his leg right here on the backside. Now, he's just moving he made the adjustment to just go up on his toe, lift up his heel, and that's keeping his weight back, but also he's not getting fooled on breaking balls. And just simple adjustments like that hitters can make, or pitchers can make, makes a huge difference in their production. So Eric Hinsky gets credit for that. And most of the time, the hitting coach gets blamed for everything. When hitters are going good, they praise the hitter, and when your team's going bad, they blame the hitting coach.
3-2. And again, Butera reminds everybody that the runner will be going with a full count and 2 outs. There goes Valbuena, and it's hit into left center field, medium deep. John Jay is there, and that's the inning. 3.5 played, and the Angels lead 1-0. Hurry into the Dodge Spring Sales event today and become the newest member of the Brotherhood of Muscle. And by Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Pick your power, fuel, or battery with Steel. Search STIHL.
Certainly was no steel in his glove right there. That's a nice catch by Soler. Soft hands. Cradled it in and took the shot on the wall. See if they can get Kennedy some runs here. Get a couple of guys on. How about a couple bloops and a blast?
It'll be Duda, Merrifield, and Almonte. Tropiano has struck out 5 in his first 3 innings, and Duda laces it into right field. He is 1 for 2.
Okay, first pitch. Now he's got some good movement on his two-seamer. There's no question about it. And he's pitching for another chance to get a start. So he's wanting to have his best show against Kansas City, and he's doing that. But the Royals have to take it to him. They've got to be able to hit him in key situations and find a gap. Whitley told me before the game he was 4 for 4 off this guy Trupiano in the minors with a homer. He said he sees him pretty well, but not that first time. Trupiano struck him out.
And he was wondering about the call on that first pitch. Trupiano struck him out with a slider in the second inning.
So guys that have 2 strikes on them can't give up on that pitch on the outside corner. It's coming back. The two-seam movement.
That's hit deep to left field, and Upton is there. He was already playing deep. So I bet that surprised Witt some. He hit it that hard, and there's a guy standing there just a couple of steps in front of the warning track. And here's Abraham Almonte. He took a called third strike in the second inning. It is a pitcher strike zone, and now Almonte hesitates after that strike was called by crew chief Jeff Kellogg.
So midway through the second time through the order, you're figuring that out as a Royals hitter. Then with 2 strikes, you better expand your zone.
Changeup. So he's going to show you a changeup and a splitter. A lot of pitchers will have one or the other.
Yeah, and the changeup's held by the back 3 fingers. It has a similar action as a split finger, but not quite. That one fades away. The split finger or forkball goes straight down, and it's the same speed, 82, 81 miles an hour.
That changeup stayed up, and Almonte tried to hit it into left field. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's the right idea. Okay, here's the situation now that Trupiano is going to try to get him to fish a little bit on the outside corner, but don't get called out looking. You already got called out once looking, especially when you're looking for an everyday spot or you're looking for more playing time. You're going to come with a fastball. Nope, they changed it.
That's bounce foul. This is a 4-game series with the Angels. And remember, on Saturday, the game is a national game. It'll be aired on FS1. And coverage begins at 6 o'clock. That'll be Justin Kutcher from Fox. And he'll be broadcasting the game with Mark Gubiza. Little bit low, but pitches just like that one have been called strikes tonight. 2-2. Breaking ball is pulled into right field. And Duda is going to head to third. Calhoun has a strong arm, and Duda is in there. That's Almonte's first hit as a Royal.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, our Missouri Lottery replay on that. Good job of waiting him out. He got a pitch he can handle, but he pulls it by Pujols, who's holding the runner on. Not a bad idea. The not all range there. Duda makes up his mind after the third look. He gave 3 looks to Calhoun and said, "You're going to have to throw me out." I like it. Now that puts up first and third, less than 2, and a chance for the Royals to tie it here. Good decision by Duda, and obviously that hamstring is feeling better.
Ryan Goins single to right in the second inning. Ball one low. Last year, Goins' overall batting average was down. He hit just .237 for the Blue Jays, but you put a runner in scoring position and his batting average went up almost 100 points. He had .330 with runners in scoring position.
And as good as Trupiano's stuff is tonight, you can't look to pull him. And a guy that has success knocking runners in is a guy like Goins that sprays the ball around and finds a hole. That's what you're looking for. Hit it where it's pitched. It's not going to go up there trying to swing for the fences.
Trupiano's worried about Almonte. Almonte at the moment does not have a threatening lead. Pujols is not holding him right at the bag. And a line drive is caught at third, and the Angels get a double play out of it. There was no argument from Almonte or Mitch Meyer, the Royals' first base coach. And Dale Swaim tells Ned Yost no challenge.
Got him. Heads up play, Valbuena. Bad luck going. Good swing.
That swing right there by Ian Kinsler has provided the only offense tonight. That was leading off the game. And the Angels lead 1-0 as they come up in the 5th inning with their 9 1-2 hitters. Maldonado with a half swing fouls it away. He flied to right field in the 3rd inning. Off the knuckles, and it's 0-2. So Maldonado, then Kinsler, followed by Trout. One and two. Not that time. Kennedy wanted it, and Jeff Kellogg has had a somewhat liberal strike zone. There have been a lot of pitches that have been outside the grid that he's called a strike.
Yeah, Trupiano has gotten a few of those. I like the 94. I like how strong Kennedy is. Really uses his legs.
Out to Moustakas. And there's one away. And when you talk about why Kennedy has pitched well early this year, he also had a very good spring, and it all comes down to health. And Ian has said, and the Royals have said, that, you know, in hindsight, maybe he should have gone on the disabled list, but this is his reputation. Taking the ball, making 30+ starts a year. And if you go back to 2010, only Max Scherzer and John Lester have made more starts, and you're just talking about a handful of starts, than Ian Kennedy. So that's his reputation. But maybe it would have been best for all if he gave that groin hamstring strain last year a little extra time to heal.
And talking to him this spring, he said that if he had to do it over again, he probably would shut it down for a little while and get well. But tell you what kind of makeup he has. He's a bulldog. He's a prideful guy. He doesn't want to let his teammates down. We learned that about him.
And he was pitching well. Now, if he was pitching poorly, then you let the muscle heal and you just get a mental reset. But
exactly.
The way he was going, the last thing he wanted to do was go on the disabled list. 1-2 on Kinsler. And he had said last year that he'd never had an injury like that before. So there was no history as to what he needed to do to allow that muscle to heal the way it needed to. Kinsler hit that way foul. It was never fair.
Now, he'd had hamstring injury before, but never one that wrapped around the adductor muscle towards the groin area, and that affected a lot of his strength. He didn't have the same strength, and it affected his changeup, took it away. Good pitch. Boy, he really handled Kinsler, no problem there.
Join fellow Royals fans in expressing your creative side at our Paint at the Park event on Thursday, April 26th. Enjoy one free drink while following an art demonstration from Pino's Palette in our Hall of Fame pavilion, and you can create a one-of-a-kind piece to show your Royals pride. And then it's the Royals and the White Sox that night. It's a theme ticket, and you can get that at royals.com/paint. Fastball right by Mike Trout, who was flied out to center field and walked. Deep short, Escobar got a glove on it. I don't think he would have gotten Trout if it's stuck in the webbing, and Trout will be on with an infield single. Let's go to Joel.
It's interesting talking with Royals Hall of Famer Mark Gubicza, because all of the attention right now is going to Shohei Ohtani, but oh, by the way, the most likely best player in baseball happens to be on the same team. But the Angels went through this before when Mike Trout was overshadowing Albert Pujols, who had always been the star. And there's a common theme here. Pujols was, fine being maybe under the radar, didn't love the attention. Mike Trout's a fairly quiet guy. He's not looking for the attention, even though he puts up the incredible numbers. And Gooby mentioned to me too that Andrelton Simmons is every bit the star too. So they certainly, the Angels, want to be aware of all of the attention going to Ohtani, but they've got some good superstars there that don't need the attention. And Jeff Montgomery made a great point. The Royals went through this in a way too when Bo Jackson came here, and suddenly he got all the attention when George Brett was the best player on the team.
Here's Upton, and he takes a slider for a strike. Mike Trout last year missed 2 months, and he still finished 4th for MVP. In his first 5 seasons as a big leaguer, he was either 1st or 2nd for American League MVP. First 5 years of his career, not just a 5-year stretch, but going back to when he was Rookie of the Year in 2012, 2nd for MVP to Miguel Cabrera, 2nd again to Cabrera in 13, then he won it in 14, 2nd in 15 to Josh Donaldson, then he won it in 16.
Wow. In one of those years, Miggy won the Triple Crown.
Again, Upton goes right back through the middle. He is 2 out of 3, and there are 2 on for Pujols.
Pretty incredible ball player, no doubt.
He was the fastest to achieve both 150 home runs and 150 stolen bases in Major League history. Those All-Star MVPs came in back-to-back years.
Two outs, see if Kennedy can get Albert a little bit easier than the last time. Albert hit a shot to right field, and Soler ran it down and saved 2 runs. Albert had a great offseason. He trained hard, didn't have any ailments, nothing bothering him. It's amazing. Just, like Moose is telling me how didn't have any knee pain. I could do everything. I could run. I could train freely. But lots of times when you're recovering from an injury in the offseason, you don't have a chance for your body to heal. Oh, there you go.
Kennedy gets around the 2-out singles, and we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's still 1-0 Angels. There's our Pepsi fan of the game, and she's about to dig into a helmet sundae. And she's got a good attitude, a big smile on her face, considering it's 8:41, so it's past her bedtime.
She's happy to be at the K. Congratulations, our Pepsi fan of the game. Way to go.
Princess wave.
Uh-huh.
It'll be Escobar, Butera, and Jay in the bottom of the 5th. Esky is trying to get Valbuena's attention. Now Esky smiles and tips his helmet at the Angels' third baseman, who did not come in, by the way. Popped up to Trout. Escobar is 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. Time for the showstopper. Francisco Lindor hit his first home run when the Royals were in Cleveland during the last road trip. Lindor didn't have an extra base hit or an RBI.
He was bunting with runners on. That's opposite field shot, went way up there.
Drew Butera lines it to Trout. And Tropiano has 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. You can create moments you'll remember forever with the Royals Memories program. Download the MLB Ballpark app to choose from unique experiences like watching batting practice on the field, delivering the game ball to the mound, or taking in fireworks from the outfield grass. You can see the full list of experiences on the Ballpark app on your mobile device. It's always fun to see the look on fans' faces during batting practice. I get a chance to stand on the on-deck circle, or at least that area, the dirt in between the 2 dugouts, and get a chance to get right up close to the batting cage, and players walk right by him, and get to see how big these guys are, how hard they hit the ball, how far they hit the ball.
No, it's a great experience. But if you do bring your ball and you want an autograph from one of the players, you got to keep in mind, you got to get their attention, and you don't say, hey. You say, excuse me, sir, and you speak loudly, and that'll get their attention. But when you say hey to a ball player, you usually don't get a response. That ball's hit well. Oh, too bad. Good
What if
stroke.
your name is Show Hey?
Then you better speak loudly and don't miss that opportunity. Our Pizza Ranch pitching line on Kennedy looks good. If it wasn't for that second pitch of the evening when Kinsler took him deep. Now, of course, you got to have some help from your friends. No question. Moose made a big play. And this one right here, he's able to get Pujols out. Soler saved him 2 runs with a great play off of Pujols. But Kennedy doing his job. Oh, bless you. Oh. Yeah.
It's that heat mixed with all the rain we had.
Gotta be.
A lot flying around in the atmosphere.
Gotta be.
The Angels have that 1 run on 6 hits. The Royals have no runs, 5 hits against Tropiano. Calhoun is lined to right and struck out swinging.
Kennedy has the same grip before he throws the ball every time. Whether it's the runner on and he's in the stretch or if he's going from the windup. He holds a changeup grip. Keep it away from him. Perfect spot. That's exactly where you want to keep it. Calhoun's going to be tough, and his bat's quick lately. Told you he's been hot in the Rangers series. There it is, 4-seamer. See the life? See the little life on it? It's going away, away, away like that. Almost looks like it has a rising effect to it. So far, so good. Let's see if he can finish him.
Called strike with a fastball. Kennedy has struck out 4. 3 make it all with a fastball.
Gotta like that. Just rearing back and challenging him, saying, here it is, hit it if you can. Instead, you got to go.
And now Simmons, who's a tough luck 0 for 2. He's turning into a complete player.
I'll say.
You said he's one of the best shortstops in the world. Defensively, he has 3 Gold Gloves. And now getting closer to matching that with his bat, and Soler not able to get that one. Simmons is going to dig for 2. Soler's throw was cut off, and Simmons is in with a 1-out double.
That's a nice hustle double by Simmons. Didn't hit it hard, but look at this, is a nice relay here. Soler right to Goins. Now, I don't know if he lets it go, if it had been any closer than this, but the throws were perfect. Typically, the cutoff man on a throw like that, he'll let it go and see if he can get it.
If it's on line.
Right.
So Goins may have cut that off, figuring that if he let it go, it wasn't going to end up at second base. So Simmons lined to first in his first at bat. Hit a sharp ground ball to third for an out in his second at bat, and now doubles to right. Valbuena has singled and flied to left.
Simmons didn't budge. Kennedy bluffed to move, and he didn't move. Says, you don't scare me none.
How did he make contact with that pitch? Simmons bluffed a tag. He would have been out by a mile. If he didn't hit that pitch might have hit him. Or maybe not.
Ooh,
I thought that he hit it off of his knuckles. That thing was just boring in on him.
Yeah, that's called committing to swing before you really want to.
And now the Royals will intentionally walk Ohtani and go after the number 9 hitter, Martin Maldonado, with 2 on and 2 out. That's Kennedy's second walk. He has retired Maldonado on a fly out to right and a ground ball to third. Kennedy's pitched well with men on base. The Angels stranded 6 in the first 5 innings.
Rhino, I'm okay with the walk, just putting him on. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
I
mean the 1 or 2 times all year that the pitcher throws it high and the catcher jumps during an intentional walk, and everyone goes, whoa.
Yeah, and the crowd gets into it.
But I'm sure I have, but I can't think offhand of a intentional walk throw that went to the screen and a run scored. So
I like it too. I wasn't sure I did it the first, but you know, no one wants to change, especially in baseball. We're a little bit reluctant. Kennedy cruising.
Oh, and 2 on Maldonado. Yeah, I always felt like the 4 pitches to make it an official intentional walk was about as exciting as the third baseman calling time and running his sunglasses over to the bat boy.
Good comparison.
1 and 2.
But have you noticed how many guys are wearing the helmet flap across their jaw? And I think that's really smart.
Well,
I mean, every team has got about 4 or 5 guys.
I mean, before last year, if a guy had that, the immediate thought was he's been hit in the face before.
Yep.
Almost always a guy had been hit in the face before. Soler comes up from right. So the Angels strand 2 more. They left 8 on base against Kennedy in the first 6 innings. Royals are down 1-0. They've got Soler, Moustakas, and Duda coming up.
Hold true moment. And it's been a nice pitcher's duel tonight here at the K with Nick Tropiano making his first start in almost 2 years exactly. He's not disappointing Mike Scioscia, the skipper of the Angels. Matter of fact, he's auditioning for another start. Looking pretty good. He's got 5 strikeouts. Kennedy as well has matched him. The only difference, a solo home run, second pitch into the game to Ian Kinsler off of Kennedy. That's the difference so far.
It's our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Diane Olshafer from Oak Grove. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Diane wins $1,100. Soler is out in front. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Diane wins 25 grand from Sonic and the Royals.
Diane, I hope you're a winner.
That was nice of you to say, Hud, but I must tell Diane in full disclosure that you say that to all the girls.
Rhino, man, Kennedy needs a run, and she needs some money. I mean, maybe not. She might be independently wealthy, for all I know. Wow. Talk about throwing your body in front of that one. Look at that jump. 6th inning, he's bouncing around Maldonado. I think it's because he knows Salvi's watching. Look at that spike curve. He says, you know, I'm going to do all I can to block it.
You think it was the 9th inning with the tying run at 3rd.
I know.
He blocked that.
I like it. Now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, instead of getting called out on a 3rd called strike, he took a nice rip. And again, Tropiano, he's hitting his spots. I mean, he's dealing tonight. Look at that's out of the zone. It's down right at the bottom of the zone anyway.
He has struck out 6. And now Mike Moustakas, who was single to right and grounded up the middle. On the scorecard it says 6-3, but it wasn't to the shortstop position. It was to Simmons, who is the shortstop, but he's playing right behind second base. Oh, 2. The Royals have 5 singles against Tropiano. All 5 have been to right field. One ball, 2 strikes. And he's in great shape with his pitch count. He's only thrown 73 pitches.
I don't know if he's ever had a better outing in his career. This is really impressive what he's doing here, especially first time out in a big league game in 2 years. Dealing, hitting the spots.
Hit well to left field, but Upton is there. 2 down. Take your Royals pride on the go with the reusable tote bag featuring the 50th season logo presented by MLB Network. That'll be here at Kauffman Stadium Saturday, April 28th, when the Royals take on the White Sox, and it goes to the first 20,000 fans. Here's Lucas Duda with 2 down. And Duda pulls it foul. Talking about Tropiano's pitch count tonight, he's thrown 75 pitches in 5 2/3 innings. He has one other start this year, and that was in AAA. He went 3 2/3 innings and threw 95 pitches. Wow. Back through the middle, and there's Simmons. So the Angels scouting report on the Royals hitters has been right on line in the first 6 innings tonight. Into the game, Ian Kinsler, in his first game back from the disabled list, homered to left. And that is also all the offense we have tonight. 1-0 Angels into the 7th inning, and it'll be Kinsler, Trout, and Upton. It is their 4th time through the order, but it won't be against Ian Kennedy. It'll be Blaine Boyer and a Chevy call to the bullpen. Ian Kennedy gave up 1 run in 6 innings, so he's given up 2 runs in his first 18 innings this year. After the home run, Kinsler grounded to first and grounded back to the mound.
Sinker slider change. Boyer is going to feature. Keep the ball down and be careful with Kinsler, that's for sure, who hit his first homer as a halo and his 235th home run in his career. That's a lot of homers for a second baseman.
Soler fades back. He's been busy tonight. 1 down in the 7th inning. Well, starting pitching is still very, very important, but it is a bullpen game today. And it has been feast or famine for the Royals bullpen in the first 10 games of the season. In wins, the bullpen has not allowed a single run. All 3 Royals wins this year have been shutouts, and in losses, the Royals bullpen ERA is 7.61. Mike Trout has flied to center. He has walked, and he has an infield single. One and one.
Boyer strong, 90 to 94 with his fastball. That's a good spot to try to get Trout out there above the belt. Stays inside the ball with his hands and uses the opposite field with authority.
Good spot. Although I'm reminded that, you know, while against most hitters you want to keep the ball down, Mike Trout might be the best low ball hitter in the game.
That's right. Better believe it. Stretch it out a little bit on the outer half. Good spot. Nearly got it. Boyer 6'3", 225. He's fearless. He's going to come in there, but I noticed this outing here compared to the last one, his slider is tighter. It has a little better break to it. So he's probably been working on his grip, maybe on his release point. Because the slider we saw in his last outing, it didn't do a whole lot. It stayed over the middle of the plate, and they got him.
Off the plate, and Goins, he knew he had to catch that on the fly to have any chance to get Trout. If he lets that ball bounce again, there's no way, and Trout is safe anyway, and he has his second infield hit tonight.
Hey, and to contain him to infield hits, they'll take that all day. And Goins, the minute it bounced off the plate, that's a base hit because he can fly. And as a hitter, you know that. There's a certain sound from that rubber plate when the ball bounces on it. And if you have any kind of speed at all, you're saying, yeah, I got an infield hit. He's smiling. And there's no such thing as a cheap hit to a hitter. Pitchers will complain about him all the time.
Upton takes a slider upstairs. He has 2 line drives to center field. 2 out of 3. 1 ball, 1 strike on Upton. He was part of that Detroit purge last year when they started trading away all of their veterans, high price veterans. Upton had an out in his contract, and the Angels loved having him for the last 2 months, so they signed him for 5 more years during the offseason. He is 3 out of 4. Two on and 1 out. And here's Albert Pujols. Our sprint trivia question, as he is coming up on 3,000 hits. He is 16 away. Named the only member of the 3,000 hit club to have 1,000 or more hits in both leagues.
Obviously not active. Not obviously.
I'm not helping you out anymore.
Come on, let's go. We're teammates. Oh, that's right.
Let's start with my alma mater. How about Dave Winfield? I'm just going to go right at it.
Woo! What? Oh, I didn't even get a chance to guess tonight.
Well, you wanted to know. Well, you're wasting time wondering if he's active or not.
All right, way to go. That's your alma mater guy, and one of my hugest inspirational teammates I ever had. Way to go. Back in the win column.
That actually surprises me a little. I didn't. Here we go.
Hey, we got the truck in there now.
The truck gets a point.
All right.
If neither one of us gets it right.
Okay.
And I think the truck should have 2. I remember one earlier in the year that we didn't get.
I think they should.
Yeah, they should have 2. Name the only college that has 2 members of the 3,000 hit club.
Golden Gophers. Molitor and Winnie. But you had more triples in your college career than Paul Molitor.
Do you know how many that was, by the way?
We went over that several years
12.
ago. Yeah.
In 4 years.
That's pretty good. I had 8 in my 10-year career in the majors. I only had 8. Oh.
That's 12 triples in 4 years with an aluminum bat.
Come on. Let me give you a
the
little
school
love.
Should be ashamed that that's a record.
Compared to a Hall of Famer? All right, see if you can get Albert out here.
Escobar safe and out.
Goins thinks that the throw beat him at second. He's asking for the Ned to replay it there, but good job at carrying on through the throw and at least getting the out here. Ball wasn't hit quite hard enough, and it was Upton who got a good jump from first base. There's nobody holding him on. He should have beat this out. Ooh, man, that's close. But see, when nobody's holding you on, you can get a 15, 20-foot lead out there.
So 6-4-3 to get 1 out. And there are 2 runners in scoring position for Cole Calhoun. He was 0 for 3 against Kennedy with a line out to right, and then Ian struck him out twice. There's an open base and a right-hand batter on deck in Andrelton Simmons. And a base hit into center field for Calhoun. And the Angels take a 3-0 lead as Trout and Upton come to the plate. How many balls have the Royals hit tonight hard up the middle, and there was someone standing right there?
Yep, seemed like a little buzzard luck. Now there's a slider that doesn't do much. It's right down the middle, and it's hit. Calhoun shortened up his swing, and he just went with it. His 2 at-bats prior, he was swinging for the fences, and then he shortened it up with men on right there and did the right thing. Found a hole.
And now Simmons, who is 1 out of 3, he could easily be 3 for 3. Both of his outs were hard hit. He comes into the series swinging the bat well. He's already had 6 multi-hit games and a couple of 3-hit games, so he's hitting .345, and again, even his outs have been hit right on the nose.
He's really coming on, Simmons. And for some major leaguers, it takes them 4, 5, 6 years to figure out some things at the plate.
He has not swung and missed at a pitch tonight, so he's gone 38 consecutive plate appearances without 1 swing and miss. Wow. That's out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. There have been a lot of examples of really good defensive shortstops who didn't hit much when they were first called up. Simmons did. He wasn't an easy out. But if they're athletic enough to be a Gold Glove shortstop and they've got all that hand-eye coordination defensively, eventually that'll make its way to the plate. And he has tremendous hand-eye coordination going this year. That's a long time without a swing and a miss.
Sure is.
He has struck out twice this year in 61 plate appearances.
Hit .278 last year for the Halos. His major league totals, and he's got about he's in his 6th season from a major league service standpoint. He came in hitting .264 in his career. Not shabby, and it's only going up.
And that nicked him. Or did it? Maybe it made some noise. Did it go off the bat?
I thought I heard something.
I thought I heard a click before it.
And with an elbow pad there. Nope.
Maybe not. I thought I heard a little click before it went into Drew's glove. And now Calhoun will be running. And Simmons takes ball 4. Boyer got a fly ball to right field from Kinsler to begin the inning. And now 4 of the last 5 have reached.
Just a couple inches from being out of the inning on the double play that he thought Pujols grounded into. But the fact that they weren't holding on Upton gave Upton a 20-foot lead from first base, and he was able to beat it out. Things just aren't going right for the Royals right now. Little things.
And now strike on Valbuena. He's 1 for 3. Brandon Maurer appears to be ready to go in the Royals bullpen. One and 1. With 1 out, Trout reached on an infield single. Upton single to left. Then that ground ball that Hud was talking about that was very close to a double play. And then Calhoun hit a 2-run single. That's off of Boyer's shoe. And there's nobody at first base. So that's an infield single, and they're loaded up. And here's Ned Yost with Ohtani coming up. So he'll go to Maurer. Chevy call to the bullpen. The Angels have the bases loaded. 2 down and 2 runs in. With the bases loaded. If you can't catch the game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in and stream the Royals. It's presented by T-Mobile. So Maurer comes on with no room for error. The bases are loaded with 2 down. We know Ohtani can throw 98. Let's see if he can hit 98.
That's right. It's 6'6", 230. Maurer, he can bring it. Fastball, slider, changeup. Pop him up, get out of it.
95, and it's 0-1. Calhoun is at third. He drove in the 2 runs in this inning. Simmons is at second, and Valbuena is at first. It's not rare at all, sorry Hud, to see a hitter with a guard on their front elbow. But Ohtani also has a big bulky batting glove. That's his throwing arm. So he is a right hand thrower, left hand batter. So that leaves his throwing arm exposed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not as dangerous in the National League for, you know, a pitcher who might hit, you know, once a week. But if this guy's going to be a DH, he's going to hit a lot, and there's more of an opportunity for a ball to hit that hand or a wrist or his elbow, and all of a sudden he's not throwing 98 to 99, and that is laced to the gap, and Ohtani might clear the bases. Valbuena is on his way to the plate, and Shohei Ohtani has a 3-run triple.
Okay, now that swing of his looks so much like Ichiro Suzuki's, and a lot of other Japanese players see him go on his toe, but he's fallen out. His weight's taking him out to the first base side. You see that very nice little toe tapper he's got turning there, but his hips were involved, and he hit it right where they ain't, and that cleared the sacks. And watch him run. I had heard before the game, as I had a chance to talk with Mike Scioscia alone without all the media, and I said, what kind of phenomenal player is he? And he goes, Hud, really, he can do everything, but you got to see him run.
Moustakas throws out Maldonado. So the inning is over, but the Angels bat around and they score 5, and now suddenly they lead 6-0. homer to left field. So it's 1-0 Angels until the 7th inning. And then Cole Calhoun drove in 2. Shohei Ohtani hits his first major league triple. He drives in 3, and we were showing you earlier in the game how well the Angels have done early in the season offensively, and one number where they really stand out is hitting with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. They lead all of baseball, and that was before tonight. And 2 more big hits for the Angels with 2 outs in that 5-run 7th inning.
Pretty interesting to see Ohtani run the bases. Man, he can do everything.
Meanwhile, Nick Tropiano, who's making his first big league start in 2 years, has 6 scoreless innings. That ball landed just on the other side of the screen. And it's 0-1 on Merrifield. And Tropiano's only thrown 77 pitches in his 6 innings. He has 6 strikeouts.
He is tossing a gym.
Witt has struck out and lined out to deep left. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now well hit to deep right, and Calhoun is there. So Witt's twice lined deep to the outfield, and he's 0 for 3. Trust your gut. Pick the right player and get 1 step closer to winning $5.6 million. $5.6 million. Download Beat the Streak today.
Like to beat the streak.
Outside to Abraham Almonte. He hasn't thrown more than 17 pitches in an inning.
Tropiano is dealing. Now, I don't know the expectations he had for himself.
Two down.
But whenever you get a guy and call him up, now he does have, you know, experience. This is his 25th major league start in his career. But there's a lot of his teammates probably going, well, I wonder what we're going to get today. And I don't guess Scioscia believed that Tropiano would just deal on the Royals. You know, we know the Royals' offense has been sputtering a little bit lately, but still, you got to credit him for executing his pitches. He's given up some line drives. Obviously, had some guys, the defense in the right place, but that's the bottom line. It's zeros.
One of those line drives was off the bat of Ryan Goins. He came up with runners at first and third and 1 out in the 4th inning and hit the daylights out of a Tropiano pitch, but right to Valbuena at third, who turned it into a double play.
And had all that room to his right and left and would have knocked in some runs. And there it is. Catch that.
Fair ball into the corner. That's Goins' second hit. And a runner at second base with 2 down.
Nice hit there. That's a ball down the middle. It's going to be hit hard, but I like it. He's not trying to do too much. Excellent swing, especially for a guy like Goins, who hasn't gotten a lot of at-bats and a lot of playing time. That's how you want to have your approach. Opposite field, get the singles. Keep the line moving.
Ball 1 on Escobar. He has walked and flied to center. And that walk is the only walk given up by Tropiano. It was on 4 straight pitches back in the 2nd inning. This is not an excuse. However, Tropiano is the kind of pitcher that needs to work the edges, if not maybe off the edges of the strike zone, and Home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg for both pitchers, not just Tropiano, has had a pitcher-friendly strike zone. Tropiano might be in a little more trouble if he was dealing with an umpire who had a tight strike zone. But to his credit, he has recognized that, and he's worked the outer edges or just off the plate. 2-1.
Yeah, I agree with you. But he's got good movement on his pitches. He's used them effectively. His changeup and split finger have been used practically a little bit more than 4% that we had coming in for the split finger or forkball. But he's had good two-seam movement. And the whole name of the game is keeping the offense off balance and changing speeds and locating. And he's doing it. Looks like the Angels are going to score plenty of runs. Their lineup stays healthy, especially with Kinsler back in there too. They got a tough lineup now, but they got a pretty difficult division. We just saw Seattle. They left. They're pretty well stacked in their lineup, even with some guys out. But Houston, they're the team because they got the pitch and the hitters.
Mike Scioscia is in his 19th season as Angels manager. Escobar walks a second time. And so Mike Scioscia will go to the bullpen and bring in the veteran Jim Johnson. But Mike Scioscia has to be thrilled with what he got from Nick Tropiano, who departs after 6 2/3 innings, having not allowed a run so far, and the Angels leading 6-0. He has not been charged with a run in 6 2/3 innings. He is still responsible for Goins at second and Escobar at first. And now Jim Johnson, a one-time big league closer, comes on to face Drew Butera.
Jim Johnson, he's a big, strong guy with a heavy, powerful sinking fastball. Two and four seam fastball, 6'6", 250 is Big Jim. Sinker, curve change. There's the curveball.
Out to Simmons, and the Angels force Escobar to end the inning. So it is 6 2/3 scoreless for Tropiano, and the Angels lead 6-0 to the 8th.
Ready for Boulevard Royals Live, and while Ian Kennedy was a bright spot, we'll talk about that. The offense, again, same story here.
Yeah, you're right. Kennedy was on his game again tonight. All 3 starts for him, but unfortunately, this offense, a lot more of what we have seen a lot of lately, and that's lack of production.
10 runs in the game on Monday, but not a whole lot since. Tried to shake up the lineup, and to this point, it has not worked. We'll talk about that. Hear from Ned Yost and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Brian?
All right, thank you, Joel and Monty. Ian Kennedy gave up just 1 run in 6 innings. And then the bullpen took over in the 7th, and the Angels scored 5. All of the runs were charged to Blaine Boyer, although 3 scored after he was out of the game. Kinsler grounds it foul outside of third base. Kinsler on the 2nd pitch of the game homer to left, and that's all Kennedy allowed in his 6 innings. Overall, he is 1 for 4. Shohei Ohtani drove in 3 of those 5 runs with his first major league triple in the 7th inning, and that was against Mauer. Mauer came on to face Ohtani with the bases loaded, and now he stays on for the 8th.
Well, if you're going to pick a time to hit one, that's when you do it with the bases loaded.
1 down in the 8th inning, and the Angels have had remarkable production with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Yeah, you know what? They're confident. They're rolling. And they're feeding off of that young man right there. A lot of energy. A lot of energy focused on him. But that takes the pressure off of the other guys, and they can all say, hey, look, focus on Ohtani. Meantime, we'll go out and get our numbers. That's what they're doing, 1 through 9.
Mike Trout takes a strike. He has 2 infield singles, and he's also been on with a walk. He has scored a run.
But you know, the thing about Ohtani, and you know, that he's setting some marks that hasn't happened since Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth couldn't run like he can, and that was good to see.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure we'll get a stat cast on his home to third, and it may be a time because they do that nowadays. But I would bet that the Babe couldn't go home to third like Ohtani. Not just a bet. I mean, not a bet, but just a guess.
That's really going out on a limb, Hud.
Well, I have respect for Babe Ruth, no question. Let's check it out. Look at the nice cutting of the bases, how he hit the corner inside.
Dave Holtzman did some exhaustive research. Babe Ruth had 17 stolen bases in 1921.
Hey, now.
So you may have spoke too fast.
Do you think they stat cat any of Babe's triples?
Is stat cat what they used before stat cast? I'm not familiar with stat cat.
Stat cast. Hey, look, that's why I said it gingerly. I don't have the numbers on Babe, but Holtzy, that's what we have Holtzy for. Thank you. You know, you just look at the physique of the Babe as he trots the bases, and you know, of course, the film that they had back in those days, it looked like it was fast motion,
right?
And it looked like, you know, he just had a little. He didn't look pretty running. I'll put it that way.
Duda runs to the dugout suite, and it's on the roof. Maybe you missed this if you were with us early in the game and we were showing some of Ohtani's accomplishments. He became the 3rd player ever to homer in 3 straight games and have a double-digit strikeout game in the same season. A home run in 3 straight games and then have a game where he struck out 10 or more. The other 2, Babe Ruth and Ken Brett, George's older brother.
Kimmer,
who was a heck of an athlete. Trout hits a line drive into deep center field. Gone. That was pitch number 11 in that at bat.
Well, you could tell Trout was getting fully extended on those foul balls, and he wasn't getting cheated. And there's some 87 on a changeup that stayed right there and just sped up the bat, and the barrel hit it. You know, Almonte in center, he just turned because he knew that ball was coming at him at a high rate of speed. 112 exit velocity off of Mike Trout's 5th home run of the season. Dangerous team.
Hey.
1-1 on Justin Upton. He has 3 singles tonight. You know, we were talking about the Angels, and it's still very early. They're not going to keep this pace up, but how well they have come through with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. They have a lot of experience in their lineup. And this is interesting. When you compile the numbers from their position players, the Angels have the most home runs, combined home runs, of any major league team, the most runs scored, the most extra base hits, and the 2nd most hits overall. So a lot of good players and a lot of experience in that lineup, knowing what to do in those clutch situations. Upton flies to Almonte, and they're 2 down.
Yeah. A lot of crooked numbers there.
And now Pujols. Pujols has had a couple of key at-bats tonight. In the 3rd inning, he looked like he had a 2-run double, but Jorge Soler made a long running play and then slammed into the wall to end the inning and save a couple of runs. And then he came very close to grounding into an inning-ending double play in the 7th inning. And had he grounded into that double play, the Angels would have been scoreless. But they went on to get 5 in that inning. Look out. 1-2 on Pujols. There's Angel starter Nick Tropiano talking about his night. 6 2/3 scoreless. And a shot into left field for Pujols. He has a 2-hit game. And now he's 15 hits shy of 3,000.
Albert's bat looks good tonight. He's quick. He's hit a couple of good solid line drives down the right field line, and then he's able to pull on this, and that's some mid-90s action there. It was up.
Joel and Monty were talking about Ian Kennedy before the game started. Pujols is going to come out, and Jeffrey Marte is going to run for him. But they were talking about Kennedy, and Monty was saying what a lot of people are saying now and wondering, you know, why is Ian pitching so well? Well, let's just begin with he's healthy. And Monty made a statement. He said, in baseball, for a player's body, it begins on the ground and goes up. And for Pujols, he's been playing on bad feet the past few years. Those are healthy, and the bat has followed. Nothing to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's Jason Hamill and Andrew Heaney. Saturday, which is on FS1, is Jacob Junis and Garrett Richards. And then Sunday, back here on Fox Sports Kansas City, Eric Skoglund and Shohei Ohtani. We'll see how the Angels use Ohtani as a designated hitter. John Jay grounds it out to Valbuena. Over to Marte, who stays in the game at first base after running for Pujols. In Japan, Ohtani would not hit the day before he pitched, the day he pitched, and the day after he pitched. Japan, like the United States, has 2 leagues. One uses the DH, one does not. He was in the league that used the DH. So yeah, see if Mike Scioscia does the same thing. If it does, then he'll hit tomorrow, but he will not hit Saturday in anticipation for a start on Sunday.
And the Sunday would be his 3rd start and all on Sunday. And Scioscia said today in his pregame meeting that would probably change at some point. And you know, in Japan too, they have every Monday off.
So some teams have a 6-man rotation in Japan, and you pitch every Wednesday, you pitch every Thursday. I mean, if every Monday is a day off and you have a 6-man rotation, there's no guessing as to when your day is to start.
Yeah, but that was part of their strategy. Now, I don't know if they do it now. I played in '93 over there, but the starting pitcher was the secret. And when the umpires took out the lineup cards before the game, they would take the lineups and hand it to the field microphone guy. Their PA system was right in back of home plate, and he would announce to the people who was starting. And there would be a big roar for their hero who was starting. But that was their strategy there. They tried to hide the starter that night. It's weird. I don't know if they still do that. I'll have to find out. Because there's a lot of Japanese media here, especially with Ichiro in Seattle just being in town. And I still know some of the Japanese writers, and I was talking to them about the popularity of Ichiro and Ohtani. Who's more popular in Japan? And he said, oh, they said both of those guys are in the top 5 of 130 million Japanese people in Japan. Top 5. They're like, big time heroes.
That's the 4th strikeout of the night for Soler, and the 3rd time he has gone down looking.
That's a good pitch up in the zone, belt high.
And it's been we've said it a few times, it's been a pitcher friendly strike zone all night. And maybe even more so when it's 7-0 in the 8th inning. Well, you should go find out about how rotations are in Japan now.
I will.
Big star you were.
I'm going to ask
Japan.
Yeah, that's a good.
These guys are probably dying to talk to you.
Well,
Rex Hudler, where is he now? They could write a big story and they could run it back. What you played for Yakult, right?
The Swallows.
Yakult Swallows.
But that's been a long time ago, Rhino. But we did win a championship. It was a fun year for me and a productive year. But they don't remember me for that, for being a part of a championship team. They remember me for eating the earthworm.
Moustakis hits it to the gap in left center field. So he has another multi-hit game. 5 consecutive multi-hit games for Mike Moustakis. He had a single back in the 1st inning.
Wow, this is really nice to see Moustakis locked in. Now he's looking for a pitch to hit, and with a 7-run lead, Johnson's going to give him one. Watch this, good balance. Look at the balance in his feet right here. Excellent balance. Okay, he's not getting too far forward, but I love how you could draw a stake right there. You see that angle? All those lines add up for the nice synergy and being able to launch and hit a ball squarely. Does the word synergy work, Rhino?
Yeah. Synchronized.
Yeah.
In concert.
Trying to keep it all lined up. It has to work that way to barrel a ball like that. Opposite field, inside out.
Duda hits it into right field. The Royals will get their 1st run of the night. Well, there's a hit with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. It's not the first time someone has come to the plate tonight with 2 outs and runners in scoring position for the Royals. It's just the first time that one of the Royals hitters has come through.
Yeah, and these are pitches that they couldn't get to fall off of Trupiano, but now they're falling.
Royals had 2 on, 1 out in the 1st. 2 on, 2 out in the 2nd. 2 on, 1 out in the 4th. 2 on, 2 out in the 7th. So they had base runners, but Nick Tropiano and then Jim Johnson in the 7th were able to get the out when they needed it.
They did, and that's the bottom line. And I think Tropiano would tell you that there was a few balls hit hard off him, but they had some guys in the right place, like that one there. That's another hard hit ball by Whitley. 3 times tonight he's hit the ball hard.
To the 9th, it is 7-1 Angels. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can. (7-1) Angels. They had a 5-run 7th inning, and all 5 runs came with 2 outs. Kelvin Herrera will get the top of the 9th. He has pitched in 4 games. He has 2 out of 2 in save opportunities, and he has not been charged with an earned run. 6 strikeouts and no walks.
He's really using that fastball, and I would too if I threw 98 to 100. He's laid away from his slider. Haven't seen hardly any sliders, maybe just a couple. And of course his changeup is exceptional at 88 to 89.
Simmons is 1 for 3. He's had 2 other hard hit outs. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 1. Moustakas was diving, and then that ball came up and over his glove. So Simmons hits it hard again, and he has his 2nd hit. Time for a game break, and we take you to Target Field, and that is base hit number 2,000 for Joe Mauer, who was on his way to a 3,000 hit career and then had all those injuries shortly after the Twins moved to Target Field. This was the last year of that long contract. There's his manager, who has 3,000 hits in his career, Paul Molitor. This adds to what we were talking about earlier. That's the 3rd most hits by a native Minnesotan.
Who has more, Winfield or Mauer, I wonder? But it doesn't matter. They're in the 3,000 hit club.
You mean Winfield or Molitor?
Yeah. Winnie or Molitor?
I'm going to say Dave Winfield.
Minnesotans?
Native Minnesotan. Nope, it's Molitor. Molitor, Winfield, Mauer. But none of them had 12 triples.
That's right. There you go.
That's embarrassing. Don't bring that up again.
I am impressed by that. Please, would you just leave it alone? I mean, that's impressive. You had a nice collegiate career and you refuse to even talk about it.
Well,
whenever I bring it up.
That
Division I.
That and a quarter will get you a gumball. 2 and 2 on Valbuena.
I didn't play Division I.
But you played 10 years in the big leagues.
I sat.
Are you gonna compare those two?
No, I'm just saying it's something special you should be proud of.
Three and 2 on Valbuena. Now Bert Smith is warming up in the Royals bullpen. Ned Yost wants Kelvin Herrera to get some work. But if things don't work out for him in this inning, he doesn't want to take him out of a save situation later in this series by throwing too many pitches. Three and two to Duda. And the Royals get the out at second base. That ball is hit hard on one hop. So Simmons is cut down, and there's one away.
Yeah, you know, Duda handled that hot shot. Herrera's not happy with his location. But Duda, he handled that hot shot nicely, and then he was able to shuffle his feet, throw a dart to get the force there. He's got good feet.
Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Ryan Lefevre with Rex Hudler, along with Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery. Here's Shohei Ohtani. He takes down and away. Director Steve Kurtenbach. Our producer Kevin Cedergren. Associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Casey Carter. Shohei Ohtani hit his first major league triple in the 7th inning against Brandon Maurer, turning a 3-0 game into a 6-0 game. Driving it to the gap in right center field.
Just got him a fastball changeup. Another changeup. Changeup at 90.
Going the other way, and Moustakas goes to second. Ohtani had run out of the screen by the time Escobar got it over there, so he's showing off his wheels again, and he's at first with 2 down.
Yeah, and you know, you were talking about his elbow pad. He's got that interesting hand pad too to protect his palm, you know, on his pitching hand. Look at him go. Pretty smooth. 6'4", 200. Sleek.
So Ned Yost says 16 pitches is enough for Herrera. And Bert Smith will come on and face Martin Maldonado. Driven in 3 of the 7. And now Bert Smith pitching on his birthday. He is 28 years old today. It's also Mike McFarland's birthday, so happy birthday to the former Royals catcher.
It is. You know, I tried to get a hold of Mac today, and I missed his return call. You know, I got a lot of respect for Mac. Mac battled. He was a grinder. Tough guy, too. And when it came to all the fighting that was the last couple of days, or yesterday in the Major League Baseball, the 2 fights, I thought of Mac, and I thought, you know what, I need to lob him a call. And I missed him. Happy birthday, Mac.
Maldonado goes after the first pitch. Almonte to the track. So Bert Smith makes 1 pitch and gets the last out of the 9th inning. 7-1 Angels to the bottom of the 9th. And 3 on the year. At 10-3, that ties a franchise best to begin the season. The 1979 and 1982 Angels also started 10-3, and both of those teams won the division and then lost in the ALCS. This is Blake Parker. He'll come on to get Almonte, Goins, and Escobar. Parker finished last year as the Angels closer and saved 8. He has 1 this year. Keenan Middleton has 2 saves for the Angels.
Yeah, he goes 6'3", 225, 31 years young. 89-94 with his heater, slider. Well traveled. A lot of glove motion. A lot of trickery.
Almonte into left center field. So he's 1 for 4 tonight. Ryan Goins has 2 hits. He could have 3 as 1 out. He lined out to third, and the Angels turned that into an inning-ending double play. No balls, 2 strikes. Base hit left field, so he could easily be 4 for 4 tonight. Goins takes an 0-2 pitch to left field. 1 on, 1 out.
It's a guy right there being, or taking advantage of his opportunity. You see the split finger. That's the third time he's hit a ball that way, and one of them got caught.
Eske has walked twice tonight. That's right. So we were curious, how many times has he walked 2 or more times in his career? Well, 2 ties a career high. 0-2. But that was the 17th time he's had 2 walks in a game.
Stay hot.
Just in case you were wondering.
Let it go, Eske.
Still 0-2. One and 2 on Escobar. Tomorrow night, it's Jason Hamill and Andrew Heaney. So in consecutive nights, the Royals will be facing an Angels starter who is coming off of the disabled list. Hamill has watched the lineup that he will face tomorrow score 7 runs on 15 hits. 2 down in the 9th. Parker may have some friends and family here. He is from Fayetteville, Arkansas, about 300 miles south of KC, and went to the University of Arkansas. He was drafted by the Cubs. He was a position player in college who didn't hit much, and there was a Cubs scout who liked his arm. Goins will take second base. No stolen base. That happens from time to time. You take a guy in the later rounds and you say, you know, I just like his arm. Let's see if we can make a pitcher out of him. So that was a good call by the Cubs, because it was the Cubs that signed him. As Parker not only ended up getting to the big leagues, but has been a part-time closer in the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's in his 4th season in the majors now. He's been around a little bit. Has had, you know, to learn how to pitch and hone his craft. But I'm sure he's pretty pleased with his move. I think it probably is harder to hit a ball than throw one, don't you think?
Depends on who you ask, Hud.
Yeah, I hear you.
Although I will say that there are more position players who become pitchers than there are pitchers who become position players.
Good call right there.
We saw one here in Kansas City, Rick Ankiel, who was a great pitching prospect with St. Louis and then just couldn't throw strikes. But he had enough ability where they gave him a shot to become an outfielder, and he got to the big leagues and had a nice career.
Yeah, you know, that's an impressive. I was thinking about him too.
Spent 1 year here in Kansas City.
He might be one of maybe just a small handful that's ever done that. Of course, the game's been played a long time in Major League Ball, but he's the most recent.
2-2 on Butera. Kinsler backpedals and makes a catch. So the game began with a home run off of his bat. It ends with a pop-up into his glove. Mike Trout also homered for the Angels tonight. Cole Calhoun drove in 2. Shohei Ohtani drove in 3. And the Angels take game 1 tonight, 7-1. We will be right back.